are back with ForeverFootballShow.com. We are having this fantastic conversation about World Cup, the best show, the best soccer event or sport event in the world, waiting 4 years for this. And today we have not only our usual Filippo Milano, Aaron Lane, myself, Alberto Sutton, but we have the celebrity guests, Bruno Aziza, Diego Hoppenheimer from Microsoft, sprinkling information and analytics all over our show. And I actually wanted to ask you a question now. Obviously, we know that social media has been growing tremendously in the last few years, and you shared with me some interesting analytics about what are the topics that are being most discussed in Twitter and Facebook and so on. I was actually surprised. Didier Drogba is the player with the most mentions all around.
That's right.
And not Messi, not Cristiano Ronaldo, not Rooney.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, you know, we spend a lot of time looking at data, and certainly structured data that you can put in rows and tables and drive reports out of it. But the game is a game that's evolving, where a lot of people like you and I are talking, so you should find a way to capture that conversation. Social media analytics is a way to do that. We have a partner called Extended Results that has built this great social media analytics platform, and it shows us what's the buzz. And I think the reason for Drogba is because of the injury. It just created so much, what is he going to play, is he not going to play? Because Ivory Coast, without Drogba, I mean, it's a big problem.
Yeah, well, last week we were talking about from all the injuries, which is the player that will be missed the most by its country. You know, Robin, obviously, for Holland, Pirlo for Italy, you have all these players. But in the end of the story, Drogba and Ivory Coast just the looks.
And don't forget, guys, that Drogba was mentioned, was one of in the first 100 most important people on time. So on the time news.
So he has the potential to be the best football player, the best African football player in this World Cup. Eto'o is probably a little bit jealous about that. We'll see.
Eto'o has had a hard time at home and in the national team, so definitely.
I also think the difference with Drogba is like not only the importance of him for his country, but also the severity of the injury, right? Because he broke his elbow. You know, they're thinking, what are the FIFA rules about casts? And this is what you're actually seeing out there. What are the FIFA rules about casts? Can he play with both? Are they going to put an air cast around him? Can he jump? Can he be lethal in the air? And again, like when he's jumping, there's going to be people bumping into his elbow. So I think that's a lot of the reason why the buzz has been generated.
And the other thing so much about Drogba's game is physical, right? I mean, he's very big and he's very strong. So when you're playing with an injury, can you actually perform? I think that's what's going on.
If I can make a prediction on the analytics or without analytics, I think Drogba will come in to play against Portugal, and then he's going to realize that he cannot play for the rest of the World Cup.
Probably, yeah.
It's probably going to be one of those things that he's going to make the effort, but it's not going to compensate.
You know, the one that has not been talked about as much as I would have thought would be Ronaldo, because he's just everywhere on the commercials, and he's good looking, so all the women should be twittering about him, but we don't see him show up. I think on the top, he's only number 4, right? Messi and Rooney came before.
I think it has to do with the fact that Portugal doesn't stand a big chance in the World Cup.
Yeah, probably.
Anyways, talking about analytics, I was also looking at there was a university in Brazil that did a very unbiased study, and they actually called Spain and Holland as the two countries with the biggest chance to win the World Cup. And their analysis was based on not only about the country itself or ranks, but they actually put them against each other in the actual brackets. And that changed the kind of results that they obtained exactly because of the difficulty of the brackets. So they looked at all history of goal scoring in the times and during the game, and they came up with a model to predict not the winning or losing, but the actual score of each game. Quite interesting analysis, and they came up after all that, they came up that Spain has 20% of chances of winning the World Cup, and that's the leading odds for the World Cup.
And I think they have that conversation at the beginning of every World Cup, saying how Spain and Holland are going to be the two teams of the World Cup. You look at them on paper, unbeatable, you know, like really, the numbers, unbeatable. And then what happens halfway through Spain and Holland is...
I agree with you, but this time there is something different for Spain. They were able to win the European Cup. So maybe they are more confident in themselves.
It's possible. Holland has been surprising. I mean, I watched which was the first one, the first friendly. I was amazed. They're just really fast. They play well together. It seems like they have any of the teams. I think they're the ones that have the least gaps. I mean, except for which one is the one? Robin is the one that's injured in Holland. But except for that, I think they probably have a good shot. Spain, I don't know. I don't feel it. I don't feel about Spain.
Look, Diego, you nailed on the head. You hit the nail on the head. It's like every year it's Holland and Spain. Last week we talked about the fact that if the World Cup was not knockouts and if it was points, league points, Spain and Holland have the best teams that they would probably win. And as a matter of fact, that actually prompted me to go take a little bit of research and analytics as well. And I went, if you guys want to see, you can go to the FIFA statistics and the head-to-head statistics. I looked at every single game from the last, any pairs of the 32 games played. And here's what I discovered. So pretty much what I did was I figured out two methods. Trying to predict if the World Cup was played on a league method, and I tried two different methods. One, just to the overall historical all-time goal differential between countries. So something like, Brazil versus Argentina is 147 to 143 in favor of Argentina. The second method that I looked at was looking just at the last two games that any of the 32 countries played against each other. And looking at those two analysis, I counted, victories 3 points as if it was a league. Do you want to guess who is the champion in both? You're going to say Brazil? It's still Brazil. I don't know about that. Is that really in the actual call? It's the data. Go look at the FIFA. So here's the interesting thing. Looking at just the last two games, the ranks is Brazil scored 121 points, Germany 118 points, and Spain is third, showing that Spain actually is very consistent in the last, just in the recent matchups and the head-to-head. Now in the goal differential, historical goal differential, Brazil has an advantage about every single country in this World Cup except for Argentina. Argentina has 4 goals ahead of Brazil, and Brazil leads against any other country. That's the history. But I didn't even know. When you look about Italy, Brazil winning titles, but when you start looking about all this history of goal differential and head-to-head, Brazil is really the powerhouse. I'm so proud of my country now.
Pentacampeón, so it's okay.
And you got a couple of players that didn't show up this time. What do you make of that? That's a big variable.
He's happy about that.
So actually, looking at that goal differential, here's a couple of shockers that I didn't expect. Obviously, these two methods have problems, right? Because when you look at all-time goal differential, you're considering like games in the 40s and the 30s. It's just a method, right? I mean, you can argue that it's the same thing as the FIFA ranks. It's just another method. But in this, actually, there are a couple of surprising facts here. In this goal differential, Nigeria has an advantage over Spain. Cameroon has an advantage over Argentina. Australia has an advantage over the Netherlands. Algeria has an advantage over Germany.
That doesn't work.
Australia has an advantage over Italy. They won in 56.
Actually, Australia over Germany, you said? I mean, that's I don't know. That doesn't.
So this is just because in this, like when you look at head-to-head between Brazil and Italy, or Brazil and Argentina, France and Italy, they always play against each other in the national level, international level, continental level, all sorts of cups. When you look at Algeria, Germany, they played once or twice. Algeria won the game, and that's what's in the record of FIFA, right? So, but just interesting information as we're talking about analytics here. Yeah. But enough with analytics. Now the next segment is going to be all about emotion, because it's about England and US. Our friend Aaron will talk about how was the emotion of seeing, I think the first time that the US had a chance against England in a long time. But we'll do that after the break. Stay with us and Forever Football Show.com.